My name is Salif Kamara. I'm from Sierra Leone, West Africa. My life in Sierra Leone is my whole childhood has been a disaster. I call it a disaster. Uh, I never experienced that right to play, the right to a childhood, you know. And at the beginning, it was okay. Born from a very poor family, my mom and dad, you know. But that was really okay for us because I never realized that that was the situation we were living at, you know, it's being poor or whatever. But the worst part of it is when I lost my families, you know, my mom, my dad, my 3 brothers and 4 sisters. And that's finally brought my life to a standstill. The rights that I used to have for my mother, I could never have it anymore. And instead, I began to experience the most brutal life during the Civil War. And I cannot go details about the Civil War because it's very emotional for me. But I can tell you that I've witnessed and I've been through a lot of the most torture you could ever think of and the most struggle in the Civil War.
And the war in Sierra Leone started around 1991. And a lot of the things that I'd noticed as a Peace Corps volunteer were some of the factors that led to the conflict. So lack of opportunity for young people, corruption in the government, lack of government services, and also the sense that there were great diamond wealth that wasn't making it to the people.
In fact, that was the first day for me to hear that Sierra Leone War has a name, Blood Diamond. They said that's the name of the Sierra Leone War, Blood Diamond. And I was like, oh, really? So you guys have a name for what's going on here?
Really, every faction of the conflict used child soldiers. We're probably most familiar with the rebels because they're the ones who had the most kind of spectacular violence, and they're the ones who were covered most by the international community. But even the government military had children among its ranks. So in some communities, maybe just a handful of children were abducted early on in the conflict and spent many years perhaps living with and fighting with the rebel forces. So for them, communities have had less of a reason to accept those children back. And many of those children, now young men, are sort of living on the streets of the city. They couldn't go back to their villages that they came from. But many of them are now making lives for themselves.
Well, I came here like any child who wants education, who wants a better future, and who wants to make a difference. Myself, I don't know how it happened, but this is part of the miracle experiences I've been getting after I lost my family. Even my own country, I've been living in that kind of people asking me, how you making it happen? How you How are you able to go to high school? How are you able to this? Well, I was very active on these issues, especially after the Civil War. I lost my mom and my dad. Why should I be scared anymore? So I was very vocal to mobilize my friends just to, you know, find a way that we could be able to never again, think about these kind of experiences, or mobilize my friends to actually speak our voice, because young people have been suppressed for so long in Africa, in my country. So the main issue that motivated me is that if we keep on sitting down, the next generation will be wiped out. So we need to stand by ourselves and start talking. So I just find myself all in these different issues. Now being disabled and experience war and orphanage life and activism, peace activist. So I was just in the right position to be invited. And indeed, the Northridge University invited me to come to the conference. And I was called for interview at the U.S. Embassy in 2007 in Sierra Leone. I went for this interview and I was successful. I came here March 14, 2007. I arrived in Los Angeles airport.
I met Salifu a couple years ago when we spoke together on a panel about Sierra Leone. And he just struck me as a very serious and dedicated young man. And when I heard about what he'd gone through in the war, he just reminded me of so many of the other young men that I've known in Sierra Leone, who maybe didn't have the same opportunities he had to travel here to the U.S. And so I'm very proud of him. But I can't help but cast my mind back to all the others in Sierra Leone who could benefit from similar opportunities.
So my main goal now is to begin to expose my village. Let me start to my village first, to expose my village to American University and my childhood experiences, from poverty to civil war to orphanage life to using disability to becoming to now a disabled. I want to use that as the education, natural education I already have, combine it with the formal education I'm getting at American University, and come up with a more specific way to approach these issues to end this injustice. But other than that, I'm still lonely, because I don't have the blood, mother, father, sister, brother, things that you can, especially when they say parent week in college, I have no parent, and the most disgusting time is when the scholars send letters to my parents, as if I have parents. They are parents of Salifu, blah, blah, blah. And when I see those letters, I really get pissed off because it reminds me so much, my right has been taken away forcefully. See, as a child, child and a parent, I don't have that. So these are the shock and the challenges I'm experiencing. But that doesn't make me give up, no, it gives me more strength.